Yeah, it feels nice. You really, it's a dig-in bass, you know. The action is fairly high. It's about 2 millimeters, and I can't get it any lower than that. Truss is still operational even despite its age, but yeah, the neck is it's perfectly playable up to like the 15th fret, and after that it's a little bit dodgy after that. I think that's maybe age. Yeah, here after the 17th fret it's on the D and A string, it's not responding well. It might just be that you have to adjust the action even a little bit higher. But being as you know, this is a groove machine. It's a real groove machine. You can dig in, and it sounds wonderful. That was with the tone right up. Turn the tone down. Yeah, it feels good to dig in, and it responds well all the way up to the 15th fret. And you know, like, it's called a hardpuncher, and I would agree it does punch pretty hard, especially when you. I mean, I'm just going direct into my computer sound card here, so you're hearing just the pure sound. Of course, when you plug this into an amp and you've got the added boost from the amplifier, the cabinet size and everything, it sounds great. Yeah, I like it. It's not as easy to play as some of the other basses that I have back here, which are, of course, much more modern, made very recently, new. But for a vintage 1980s bass, it's not in bad shape at all. But you know, I'm not going to pretend it's perfect. It's not without its problems up here, like I showed you, and hence I'm not asking very much for it. I'm putting it up for about $300. And when these were new, they were going for about 80,000 yen. They were basically competing with the Fender Japan as well. I like the clarity of the pickups, the response and sound is really nice. and that's with the tone down. That was with the tone full up, you know, midway. It's a bit hard to get kind of tapping stuff on this because it demands it demands quite a lot of pressure, but actually it's not too bad, even though the action is a bit high. It's nice though, you can get really dug in, you know. Sounds good for slap, sounds really nice for fingerstyle, and you know, if you're playing sounds nice. Just it's a good instrument, definitely, and I think the response is very nice. What gets me about this though is it has a very, very thin fretboard. I've never seen a fretboard this thin before. Usually your fretboards are like 5mm or something, 4 or 5mm thick, and this one is like maybe 2mm or something. And yeah, I believe that's about 2mm thick, that fretboard. And it's almost as if they put the fretboard on first and then put the frets in, which is unusual. You know, usually the build process is that they make the necks and dry the necks out while they prepare the fretboard, which they do the fretwork in the fretboard before it gets glued onto the neck. But this, they must have done it the other way round. So it's interesting, that is. I've never seen that before. But maybe this is a feature just to make the neck very strong and the fretboard thin, so that it has a thinner profile for ease of playing. Because this was for the Japanese market, so, you know, they're probably thinking along the lines of, you know, smaller hands need an easier to play fretboard, perhaps. And I have to say, compared to the Fender PB57s of the 1980s and 1990s, this is definitely a less chunky neck. It's more like a jazz neck profile, which is nice. I like it. So what you've got is a P bass with a jazz neck, basically. Feels good. So that's the Tokai hardpuncher, and this one is 1986 model or 1985 model, and it's I'm putting it up for $300 because it's not perfect. It works, it plays, it sounds good, it's a lot of fun to play, it looks great, but it does have some issues up at the top of the neck, which, I mean, if you're not going to play up there, it doesn't really matter. Down here, it's all working just perfectly fine, and it sounds good and feels great. It's a lot of fun. So I'm probably going to get some more of these in, actually, because I like them. This is the first time I ever had one in, and you know, I like it. I think it's just as good as the Fender Japan, although, you know, at its age, it has a couple of problems. So If it had no problems at all, I would say it's probably better than the Fender Japan. But I'm going to get another one in soon anyway and see, see if that sets up any differently or not. But there you go. That's it. If you have any questions about the Tokai hardpuncher, let me know. Handmade in Japan in the 1980s, I believe, by Kanda Shokai. Nice instrument. Very cool.